Drew, do you have any questions before we start?
Nope.
Okay. And a 1 and a 2. Oh, dude, hold on. My are so sweaty. And a 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2. Hello, my voice is gone, and welcome to another guitarist getting geeked up on grungy Gollum gigs while going to the ground level to do a little ground and pound on some grown men in the pit. Uncle Gary went to a Gojira show with nothing but Gatorade and Gushers episode of the Days Grimm. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brian Michael Day.
My name is Thomas Grimm.
And I am Drew Head.
Dude, tighten it up. Tighten it up. That's all I got to say. Just get on in his ass. As soon as he says his name, your name, dude.
I'm all about being tight.
Dude,
so.
in his ass. What's up, Drew? How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Just drinking this gross
Concoction.
whiskey.
Don't say gross whiskey. That's a...
I'm sure it's fantastic for people who like whiskey.
Yeah,
I do not.
That's a disposition towards Japanese people. And I'll tell you what, dude. Honestly, shout out to K-Ro because they're crushing
Brought to you by Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, brought to you by the USS Arizona. No, dude. I'm pumped to be here, man. I'm having a great day. My voice is gone. I'm going to talk less than normal, but
Thank God.
Tom, if you could do me a favor.
Joining us this week in the Days Grimm shoebox is Tyler Brown. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
TYB, what up, son?
It's been 2 years.
Yeah.
Has it been 2 years?
It's been 2 years.
Hey, do you guys have pubic hair?
When I don't shave it.
Oh, yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
mean.
But do you have this weird spot right here where there's no hair?
Yeah, I got that. Do you have
then on
pubic
the
hair?
inside of your leg there's hair?
Yeah.
As of recently, last week, no.
No, so you're a shaver? You shave it down?
He uses Nair.
So here's my question, dude. I was thinking about this the other day, dude. Drew, do you have pubic hair?
A little too much of it.
Nice, dude. Fucking nice. So he's not shaving. No, my question is, I was thinking about it the other day. I was shaving my ween. Do you guys shave shaft?
Yeah.
Do you shave shaft, Tyler?
It's risky. But
Yeah, do you though?
Sometimes it has to be done.
Yeah, you gotta knock it
Risky.
down, dude.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the thing. How old are you again, Tyler? 31. I feel like it didn't happen to me until I was like, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, Drew. So just take
And then
the,
you
I
gotta
know
start
where you're going
shaving
with this.
farther and farther up the
You've
leg.
discussed
dude.
this.
Yeah. It's like back hair, but on your dude. I have the most aggressive hair.
Yeah.
Dude, I have been shaving my shaft like a
I
fucking...
feel like the hair on the lower part of my shaft goes up farther than the hair on the upper
It
part.
does, dude. Is that for you too?
Man, I haven't really looked at
We're
that.
we're doing a lot of talk, but no, I just...
You have me like thinking about it. It's just like,
yeah.
You're like, let me rewind to the
Yeah.
Well,
last
no.
time I had
This
cock in
is
my
a very aggressive topic. Also, I am inebriated, so that's why it came up. But also, I did think about it while I was sober for this show. I did want to bring it up because, like, I was just shaving my ween the other day, dude. Just
Yeah.
shaving it down, getting it nice and slick and smooth, just fucking ready to go. But I'm at the point now to where I shave the shaft business and the balls and everything, and then I just leave the upstairs. So I got like a small brush going on. Does anybody else do that?
No.
No? Okay. All
If
right.
I'm shaving it all.
You're going all the way down.
Like a little... I'm not going to say
Don't
that.
do that. All right, dude. So TYB, what's up, man? AKA Onyx.
yeah, I have a stage name now, Onyx. Like
What's
the
that?
Pope.
What's that like?
Well, weird. It's whenever you see somebody that has a different alias, you're like, oh, that person's cool. But when you have one, you're just like, what the hell is this?
Where'd
Like,
this come from?
Yeah.
Strange, dude.
And the reason how I came up with that name was one day I was listening to Slam, da, 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 and I was just like, oh,
Okay.
Onyx. Like, there's my stage name.
Oh, yeah.
Onyx.
crushed
And,
it,
and
dude.
then the drummer in my band was like, oh, that's a Pokemon. And I was like, oh, shit.
Pokemon is sick, just for the record.
It's a rock Pokemon, though. It's like a
But
warm rock Pokemon.
You were talking a little bit about the band now. So the last time you were on, you were a part of a different band.
Yeah.
You're with now
Yeah.
Symphony of Heaven.
Yes.
Symphony of Heaven.
Of Heaven.
Of Heaven. I can't hit that falsetto right now because I sound like fucking 40-year chain smoker.
And
But
Symphony, you think of a lot of like stringed instruments. Are there anything other than like a guitar and bass that's like out of the ordinary?
Actually, yeah. I did produce some symphonic for the new single. I did produce it, and I put some actual orchestras in there. And
what does symphonic mean?
The orchestras.
Orchestral?
Yeah, that.
Okay. Sick, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, and we got your page pulled up here, dude. You guys have some sick fucking art, man. Hold on, can you scroll down just a little bit so I can see the full picture? Dude, that is fucking sick.
Mm-hmm.
God, dude.
Did you mix and master this single as well?
I didn't mix and master it. We had that sent off. But almost everything besides vocals was my bedroom.
Oh yeah.
From the last experience, talking about that, how it was rough to first go at it with Forthright, but this time around it was just like, whew, I fucking got this,
dude. Yeah. And then shout out to Forthright because they're still doing good, right?
Yeah,
they're still doing good.
Yeah.
So did you get kicked from the band?
No, I quit.
You quit?
Just tapped out.
You were just like, I'm gonna go do this Christian thing.
Yeah, I fell to the.
You're like, I want some wine and crackers.
Yeah, exactly. I need to. No, it was more of a just like, with Forthright. Some wine too.
Dude, hold on. Can we go back to the top of the website, please? This picture reminds me of this guy right here. This reminds me of like a vagabond in like Belgium, like during the bombings of World War II. That's just where my brain's at. Is anybody else where I'm at right now, or no? Is that just me?
To me, that just looks like a dude like in a shitty era of time. That's sad.
Definitely World War II era.
Yeah.
So is there any like story behind this art here?
There is. There is. But the lead singer in my band would be a very. He has this whole thing constructed.
Yeah.
Where this guy named Nicholas Farrell. I don't even know if I should be saying this, but oh well.
Well, we'll talk about it later if we should bleep it out.
Well, anyway, there's this mythology of this guy named Nicholas Farrell, and he was this. It was the whole concept, and I'm oblivious to it because I don't really care about lyrics. And I was just like, as long as the music sounds good, fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah,
you can say what you want,
dude. Does this riff go fucking hard or not, dude?
It's like.
You spoke about it being a Christian band.
Yeah.
Did you know the lead singer of Creed was a Christian?
Yeah, look how that
right,
turned out.
And he was talking about how he was like the band members started putting it together that they were like kind of Christian-esque lyrics, and they're like, dude, this isn't us, man. We're supposed to be rock stars. We're out here like doing rails of coke and hookers, not
talking about baby Jesus in a manger.
Right.
Take me higher. Also, shout out to Creed. They're doing a comeback tour. So, dude, Creed was my shit when I was younger.
Everybody loved Creed.
Dude, if you didn't love Creed, fuck you.
Exactly.
That's where I'm at. Did you like Creed, Tom?
Yeah, I loved Creed.
Do you know who Creed is?
I do.
You a fan or no?
The only song I could name is
With Arms Wide Open.
Take me higher. That's a good one, dude. That's a good one for real. Creed was my tits. So what was a weird transition? What was the weirdest transition you've had going from Forthright to Symphony of Heaven?
Musically, honestly, it's more my style, and this is the main reason why.
A little heavier.
Yeah, heavier, and has the orchestra elements. That's my shit. Black metal is my favorite genre of all time.
Serial killer stuff. Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
yeah, me too.
Yeah. So music wise, it was easier to transition. Honestly, the weirdest part is the Christian aspect. And I'm just like, it's like, for me, it's just like, okay, like I'm doing the music I want in the Midwest, but there's a catch, there's that, which these guys in my band are so cool. Like I've hung out with them before I was in the band. It's like, okay, these guys are cool. They're not preachy, culty. It's like, okay, these guys they're worthy to be in a band with. Yeah. And, but I've played festivals with them, and yeah, walking around, it's just like, whew, like, look where I'm at.
Is there a picture of is there a picture of you guys as a group on your website?
Yeah, right there.
There we go.
And that's Eero, the guy in the middle, right by me. He is the former guitar player. I now replaced him, but he's from Finland. It was very hard to understand him at times. Very Finnish.
Shout out to Scandinavia, dude. Yeah. They're fucking crushing the metal.
Yeah.
They've been crushing the metal for decades.
Yeah, so I have to replace a fucking Finnish guy, which is just like asking.
It's not good for you.
It's not good for me. Like, it's not. I'm fucked.
They got a lot of talent. Man.
Yeah.
Have you learned stuff from him though?
Oh yeah, I'm very lucky that I can play what he plays. He's an exceptionally good guitar player, and Yeah, I was the guy who got the job done and killed it. So
Have you seen the name, or like do you know where he's from in Finland?
Helsinki,
Helsinki. That's
the
too
capital.
easy.
Yeah,
That's too easy.
What's the most populated area?
Have you seen some of the names of towns in Finland and Sweden? They're like 19 vowels. Just look up Sweden. Just look up Sweden as a country or Finland as a country. They have some town names they have 19 vowels in the name of the town. And you're like, how do I say this? And there's dots and dashes and helixes and all kinds of fucking, okay, now you're going to call me a liar. No, yeah, look at this. Like, Jvansklalaka, la la. Yeah, dude. So shout out to all those people. They were made for metal. Seriously.
Very dry humor too.
Yeah, a lot of good metal has come out of Scandinavia in
the best.
The last couple decades.
The best.
Does he call bass or bass?
Bass.
He calls it bass.
Bass.
Yeah, the bass.
Yeah.
I find a lot of Europeans call it bass.
That's true. We've talked to a couple people where
Really?
they're like, they call it bass.
Is there accent poking through, or is it just ass with a B on it? Bass.
Something's poking through.
Yeah.
No, seriously though.
Poking out the non-circumcision.
Yeah, who was it that we were talking to that was like,
I don't know. I know a few people in Europe that say bass. I really like the bass in that song.
yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
And you mean bass, and also his name's Lil Wayne, so fucking tighten up. Not little. No, dude. So, you've been out for a couple years, man. So, how have you been doing? Holding up? You know, how long have you been with this new project now?
About a year.
About a year now.
About a year. I played my first show with them actually 2 years ago. They needed to fill in for a bass player, so I filled in. And I hung out with them, and I was like, "Hey, these guys are really cool. You know, like for Christians, these dudes are cool."
Yeah, dude.
And we listened to all the same music and everything, and started hanging out with them more. And you know, from a musical perspective, it made sense.
So you're converting to Christianity now. And that's good to hear, man, because Christianity has a lot of good values in it. So good for you. Seriously, I'm proud of you. You've come a long way, Tyler Brown.
I live a life of sin still. I live a life of sin.
Dude, honestly, I'm not friends with people that don't sin. So that's where I'm at. So you do remember the deaths of the week.
Yes.
Plural, because we've done about 140 of them.
Yeah, that's a pretty popular topic. And, you know.
I'm going to be honest with you, man. Before we jump into it, Drew, real quick, do you guys like water? You're on stage a lot. You're like, you have to pound water.
Yeah.
You're sweaty.
Electrolytes,
Yeah,
water.
you're drinking tequila.
Got all the stage lights.
You drink a lot of water. Tom?
Sure.
Maybe. Drew?
Yeah.
Have you heard of water?
I've heard of it. I dabble in water.
I dabble in the H2O. Drew, do me a favor, and let's upset some people.
Mm-hmm.
The death of the week.
This week's death of the week, Indiana. I was wondering how long I could go with that. I can't do it. Indiana mom dies of water toxicity after drinking too much water on vacation. Family. Here we go. Drew, scroll on down. Let's get into it. 35-year-old Indiana mother died of water toxicity after drinking too much water during a recent vacation, her family said. The family is now looking to raise awareness and prevent what happened to from happening to others. It happened over the 4th of July holiday weekend. Quote, she went boating all weekend and got severely dehydrated, end quote, aka fucking trashed. And if you're on a boat, that's probably what you're doing. Her brother, Devon Miller, posted. So we go on, and then here's an actual post. I can't even believe I'm writing this. My sister, who lives in Indiana, was pronounced dead. Drew, can you zoom in just a baby hair? Pronounced dead yesterday afternoon. Her brain swelled to the point that it cut off circulation to her blood supply in the brain. All this happened apparently from water toxicity. She went boating all weekend and got severely dehydrated, aka intoxicated, on Tuesday, and she drank a lot of water, parentheses, at 1.4 bottles in less than 30 minutes. All this caused her brain tissue to start swelling. By Tuesday evening, she was unconscious. Oh, no, don't do that. Don't she was unconscious. Scroll down, and I think there's some more down here. Drew, please. And then, so left behind with two, or so the woman left behind 2 daughters, both under the age of 10, and her husband. Her brother wrote. It goes on and gets really sad from here. Basically, here's what happened, guys. Lady goes out on a boat, gets really, really trashed, gets off of said boat, goes to their little lake house, and then just starts pounding water because her mouth is dry. Pounding water. He said up to 4 bottles in 1 hour. And I've read some other articles on this. She continued to drink more water. Like, it was at that rate for a long time. She was doing 4 bottles of water an hour for like multiple hours, and then wound up passing away, or losing consciousness and then passing away. And then I looked up some other stuff, and there are actually, and Drew, you could Google this to prove me wrong, but there were like some challenges going around, like the 75 hard that you were doing, and then some other stuff going around where it was saying like you need to drink more water. And like some people have been admitted to hospitals due to like TikTok challenges and like 75 hard, drink more water stuff. But essentially, water can be good for you. However, at a rate, you know what I mean? And this lady exceeded that rate. So
They say you get most of the water you need from what you eat anyways.
yeah, there's moisture content in everything that you eat.
And plastic nowadays.
So, what is the water challenge? Staying hydrated is important. Oh, aim to drink 1 or more glasses of water than you normally would each day for 30 days.
Drew, you should look this up. I think you actually consume a credit card's worth of plastic like a week. Or is it a month? Yeah.
Yeah, but for the water challenge, there was a bunch of different definitions, but I'm sure TikTok made some stupid shit where you drink an insane amount of water.
Yeah, you probably chug a gallon in 45 seconds for the real.
There's no way I eat a credit card's worth of plastic on average in a day. Is that what
it's not a day. It's either a week or a month.
A week or a month? Hold on, let's see what's going on here, dude. On average, people could be ingesting around 5 grams of plastic every week, which is the equivalent weight of a credit card. Our study suggests that people could be consuming on average over 100,000 microplastics every year. That's approximately 21 grams a month, just over 250 grams a year. Dicey shit, dude.
Yeah.
Dicey shit.
But honestly,
where are you at on the water, dude? I want to know about the water.
What do you mean?
The lady, dude.
Where am I at on that?
Yeah, dude.
I mean,
have you ever been so drunk where you get back to the house and you're like, I just need fucking water?
Drunk? No. Yeah. Under other influences? Yeah.
Nice.
We're in Indiana, so I can't say what.
Nice.
But, yeah, I mean.
So you got to be careful.
That's partially her fault.
You think so?
Yeah, because I feel like if your brain tissue starts swelling, maybe go to the hospital. Don't keep chugging water.
Well, she doesn't know. She doesn't know.
You wouldn't be able to tell?
You don't think he'd get a headache or something?
You might get a headache, but you're not.
But you also get a headache when you're dehydrated, so she probably thought.
It might have been ongoing, like a persisting headache. What do you? Where are you at on this water situation, TYB?
She was probably going with the headache thing. She probably was, coming down from having a hangover. Chug a lot of water, get rid of that feeling, and just overdid it. And she started feeling like crap, and she probably thought she was still drunk and just didn't know any better and just kept chugging and chugging and chugging.
Did you get a hangover last week enjoying that Florida
weather? Oh yeah, you went on vacation.
Yeah.
How was that?
It's great.
Yeah.
Gulf Shores. Evansville was a beach.
Yeah, dude. Dad's down there now.
Yeah.
Your dad moved down to Gulf Shores.
Dad moved down to Gulf Shores. Retired and moved down to Gulf Shores.
He tapped out on Indiana.
Here's the funny, going back to the death of the week. Hear this
Hell
shit.
Yeah.
All right, Friday night, my stepsister works at the Jimmy Buffett Sisters restaurant, Lulu's. We had dinner there Friday night. I had a cheeseburger. No shit. The next day, you know what happened? Jimmy Buffett died. Friday, the day before, the day of, I was eating a cheeseburger at his sister's restaurant, and that night he died.
crazy.
I'm forever
'cause you
connected with
didn't-
Jimmy.
It's because you didn't go to Margaritaville. It's,
You know what?
You
That
pissed off the Jimmy Buffett gods.
Margaritaville died out of Evansville years ago.
I know.
That was
I hate that. I went there for my junior high, like a junior high ball dance thing, like where you like take all your dates out and say it wasn't prom, but it was like whatever prom is for junior high kids. I went there and I remember that, dude. It was good times. But then also, so did you know that Toby Keith has skin cancer?
Toby Keith does?
Yeah, bro.
No.
Pull up a picture of Toby Keith real quick. He looks like shit.
Seriously?
I found this out when Jimmy Buffett
Fuck
died.
this cancer patient.
Look up a picture. Yeah, look at him right here with
Stomach cancer battle.
Oh, sorry, stomach cancer.
Yeah, skin
Whoa.
cancer is like
Yeah, Jimmy Buffett had skin cancer. Sorry.
Whoa, is that him?
Yeah, it's him, bro.
Oh my god.
He's going through a hard fucking time right
I didn't
now.
know this.
Yeah, I didn't know either until I found out about Jimmy Buffett dying.
Holy shit.
Keith, 61, is currently undergoing chemotherapy and immunotherapy.
Hey, yes, immunotherapy, and he's talking about going on tour this fall. So shout out to fucking Toby Keith crushing.
Yes.
Dude,
Shout out.
That dude is snapping dicks.
So what was it like when you performed your first gig with this new band? Like, was it in a church or?
Well, the first time as an official member, it was at a Christian festival.
There you go.
And overall, it went pretty well.
What was that like? Christian festival, a lot of crucifixes out there.
Yeah, there was.
Fuck
you know,
yeah, dude.
Was it like in the crowd? Like people with crucifixes?
Jesus body surfing or like crowd surfing on a crucifix.
I can't like in this role in this band. I kind of like I want to be that like guy. I mean, obviously I'm on a podcast right now, but I want to keep myself as low key as possible in this band because I'm the one who joined this band, so I have to be respectful. It's like, hey, like I'm doing this for musical endeavors, not for like any like personal like religious things or like
Right.
I don't have that agenda. So. But at the same time, they're letting me be me, so I'm just like, oh, okay. So sometimes in the group chat, I let some heathen slips.
You let a JC out.
Yeah.
You let cut a JC out in
Yeah,
front
I
of some
do.
Christians.
Yeah.
So what is?
What was the Christian band event that you performed at for the first time?
It's called Pit Fest.
Where's that at?
Kokomo.
Kokomo.
Like the Beach Boys. Kokomo.
I know a girl
yeah.
that lives up in Kokomo. She got she had a baby. She got pregnant. That's just a fun fact. But yeah, she lives up in Kokomo. It's a friend of mine. But no, it's cool. So what are some of the differences between like a quote like a Christian metal band versus just a regular like metal band?
I would just say lyrics and like
Is it just lyrics?
yeah, lyrics. Honestly, lyrics and they play this music for the Lord. And I always find that I was just like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like playing music for the Lord, and I'm doing it to have fun and do my passion. But I guess that's the difference between me and like any other Christians you meet. They do everything for the Lord.
Have you got to meet
They're,
like any of these other bands like that are semi like what you got? Skillet, you have POD,
Yeah, Creed.
Yeah, you've got Creed, but you
Going
got
on
like
tour soon, guys. So
you got,
get your tickets
like,
now.
We Came as Romans.
Yeah.
Did you were any of those at like any of these concerts?
No. I would say we're not that big yet. We're not big Christian. We're not big Christian band yet.
Okay. No,
but a band called Disciple was there, and they're
Yeah, they're big.
We played show with them. Yeah,
That's
like
cool.
Disciple. What do you think about? Do they talk about some of their influences, or do you have influences that may have been Christian, like going into your music? So, like for me, just as an example, like a hard screamo metal band that I really, really, really like that went mainstream for a long time ago, 2008, 2009, 10, 11, 12.
Flyleaf.
No, Under Oath. A lot of people don't know that Under Oath.
Under Oath was Christian.
They're
yeah.
a Christian band, but their shit goes fucking so
Yeah.
hard. So are there some bands where you like look at that are Christian that you draw into your music, or maybe that they have talked to you about and they're like, hey, we're really like into Flyleaf, or like
No, they're not.
Okay.
We're into
Flyleaf's too soft.
a bit too soft.
Yeah, there we go.
That's
par for the course.
The bands that they're influences by, which I'd never heard of them until they showed me them. There's a band called A Hill to Die Upon. I think that's the band name. And
I know a Hill to Die Upon.
Hill to Die Upon.
Yeah.
Impending Doom. I don't know. That was for me personally. That was a Christian, like big Christian death metal band.
Really?
That toured with Whitechapel and all these
Fuck
other
yeah.
death metal bands. But Yeah, Impending Doom. There's another black metal band called Crimson Moonlight, or is it Crimson Moonlight? They show me them. They're really cool.
Fuck yeah.
So I didn't know this whole underground like Christian thing was.
It's a thing, dude.
At first when I joined this band, like my friends were just like, "You're in a Christian black metal band? Isn't that like a Nazi? Isn't that the equivalent of like a Nazi Jew?"
Yeah.
And I was just like, huh? Like, it's like.
I'm going to be honest with you. I thought you were trying to say oxymoron.
No,
and then
no.
you were like Nazi. I was like, don't worry, I'll correct him. And he was like, no, Nazi Jew.
Yeah. It's like, isn't that like a Nazi Jew, Christian black metal? Because I was just like, well,
it's pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close.
Pretty close. That's what's happening here, guys. Things are going great.
Yeah.
Do you feel out of sorts sometimes, or like maybe out of place, or I don't?
Well,
maybe not with your band, but like with the venues that you're playing at. Like, do you ever feel like
Comes with the territory, man. That's where the professionalism comes in. You know,
Yeah.
a venue's a venue, and people are people. And you know, you can come up and talk to me about your beliefs, and I'm gonna say, hey, I respect that. That's cool. Thank you for enjoying the music.
Yeah.
I'm glad to play in front of you. But I am not the person you want to talk to about that, about religious stuff. My beliefs are elsewhere, and
I think that's a very professional way to look at it, man. Because you can look at a lot of, and I wish politics were like that. God damn, dude. But there's like you find politics in everything now. And
yeah, exactly.
Like certain podcasts lean one way or the other, and then or whatever, or musicians or what have you, magicians. People
but magicians are
like going on stage. Well, did you not know that?
No.
Yeah, magicians are being like politicized now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude. David Blaine, he's on the hot seat. But what I'm getting at is that, like, I just wish it was more about the craft and less about biases.
That's where my approach was, and also I go what you're talking about. There's so much that's divisive and bullshit in this world.
Yeah.
And like you have to be the person you want to be. Like you have to set that standard for yourself. And you're like, yeah, you know what? I have different beliefs, but it's not gonna like stop me from pursuing my craft, pursuing some life experiences, hanging out with cool people. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, well, I tried.
Yeah.
And it's a new life experience, and I can tell stories about it. That's literally worst case scenario.
That's a good way to
that's it.
That's a good way to live life. I feel like, man, just like we all have flaws. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We all have like, I did this, but also I think that. And then I'm thinking about like, just live your life and do the best that you can in the moment that you're in and treat everybody with a little bit of fucking goddamn decency.
Exactly.
We should be fine. You know what I mean?
What's it like being in two different bands? You know what I mean? Like, because you're in a Christian band and then you're in like a non-Christian band, right?
I play guitar, so it
But you
doesn't
don't
matter.
get like the music kind of mixed up at all?
No. Like the only difference is lyrics, really. Like, of course, there's different styles, and with Symphony, it's the style that I'm most attracted to. So I'm just not only that, but it's such a niche style. It's very European, Scandinavian style of heavy metal, and finding that in the Midwest is just like, whoa, I have to take advantage of this.
Well, not too many people from the Midwest have been to Europe, like your brother.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a situation where I had to like fully take advantage of to be like, okay, this is like, I need to play this style of music to fill this void in my life, or else if I didn't do it, I'd be like the shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
Right? Aren't you filling in for your brother's band every now and then?
Yeah. Whenever they play a show, like once in a while.
Sick.
It's Aegean is a very Aegean's a very our drummer just moved to LA. The bass player's in Florida, and the singer has 3 kids now, and me and my brother lives right down the road. And me and him are just no kids, musically just active all the time.
Just doing your best.
We're just doing our best.
As God intended.
Yes, as God intended.
I wonder, like, it's becoming more and more common now where people are like composing through the Ethernet.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So it baffles me that it used to be like 5 guys in your hometown have an extraordinary amount of talent, and then those 5 guys musically like start their own projects or do their own thing, and then eventually when the sun sets just right and when God rolls the dice and this guy meets that guy, Jimmy Page breaks up from the Yardbirds and he meets fucking Robert Plant. You know what I mean? When these things align just right, those guys from that same general area create the most beautiful thing you've ever seen.
Right place, right time.
That's how it used to be. And now you're finding these bands that are like, hey, I just wrote this fucking sick bass riff. Let me send it over to you. So, like, do you think that's better or worse for the musical industry now? Do you think that there was a certain... Now, the intuition is like, it makes more sense to do it that way. It should be better. But do you think are we losing something by not having that hometown growth? Or like that happenstance growth?
Yes, honestly, yes. Because you cannot replace seeing 4 people, how many members are in your band a week, getting together and physically getting together and building a relationship through music. You cannot replicate that, even if you just send files over the internet. Yes, that's very convenient, sending files over the internet, because
it's efficient.
Yeah, we're all about convenience, in the modern world, convenience, instant gratification, we're all about that. But you can't replicate that chemistry of getting in a room and building a musical trust with people. Nothing can replace that, and that's where the true magic happens. That's what Forthright had, and Symphony we don't practice as often because the drummer lives in Indianapolis, and that's something I do really miss, is getting together weekly and building a musical connection.
Do you think there's musical connection that could be made, or like a bond that could be made by just like looking at each other full frontal nude? I don't know. I think about that often too. No?
I have to see the calluses on your fingers.
Okay, that checks out.
See, that tells me how good you are.
I just feel like there's a certain bond there, dude.
Yeah, I'll take calluses or dick.
Yeah, whatever, dude. I was in the Army for a little bit, so that's how I built my trust. It's like, let me see that dick. No, dude, that's really, really interesting. So the drummer's from Indianapolis, the guitarist that you replaced, but also still is with the band. What does he do?
He's not really in the band anymore.
He's not?
He moved back to Finland.
So he's in Finland,
yes,
but he's not with the band anymore. So is he not helping at all, or?
Oh, he the new EP. He wrote a song that we're gonna. He contributed to it.
Okay, so, and where's the singer from?
Owensville, Gibson County.
So close.
Yeah. Oh, he's close, like 30 minutes away.
And then the bass player.
MIA. We don't have one right now.
Okay. That's a common trend now.
It's a common trend for the bands that I'm in. Yeah,
that was I think the last time we interviewed you were like, also we don't have a bass player.
Well, like I joined Symphony being the bass player. Eero moved back to Finland. Oh, you're a guitar now. Good. Well, I wanted to play guitar anyway.
Some shuffling. So are you on the headhunt for a bass player?
Yeah, headhunt. Yeah.
Okay, so,
I mean, nothing new.
No. So if you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube, like, some prime opportunity here, and you guys have some solid shit, dude. And it would be easy for a bass player to just plug right into that.
So we have our shit together as far as that.
Are you still doing it the same way you do with Forthright, where like you're pre-recording?
No. We've had fill-ins. Right. We have the upcoming show we have a fill-in for it, and the last 2 shows we played, we had a fill-in for.
What's that like? Trying to find a fill-in, and then you got to teach them your music, or you just like, hey, slap the chord.
Oh, we teach him the music, and try to not throw him to the lion's den because he's a Christian.
Right. Next guy's name must have been David.
Hold on, are all the fill-ins Christians?
So far,
they have to be.
That's
a prerequisite, guys. So if you're thinking about applying for Symphony for
any Christians out there who shred bass, fucking download some tabs off their website, which, by the way, is super cool that you guys just have the tabs for your songs.
Yeah, you can thank Logan, the guitar, or Pathos is a stage name. You can thank him for that.
I love that. Yeah, because it is often that I'll find a smaller group, or I'm really big into like bluegrass lately, and like some like off name like Zach Bryan country artists.
Have you ever heard of this guy named Oliver Anthony?
Yeah, I know.
Have you ever heard of him?
God, dude. Where's he from?
Somewhere in Richmond.
He's south of Richmond, or south of Washington. I promise you that. That song that he blew up with.
Yeah.
Did you hear this, Thomas? The Richmond, north of Richmond.
I think so.
That was everywhere. How could you not hear it?
You heard about this, right, Drew?
That fucking ginger dude who blew up.
Dude, honestly, I still don't trust him.
Oh yeah, that ginger.
You don't blow up like that out of nowhere.
I don't trust him because he has red hair mostly, but also he blew up.
It's got to be some kind of industry plant or some shit.
It has to be.
There's no way.
And like, it'd be one thing if he blew up like that, but then like 2 days after that video came out, he was like putting on a concert with a bunch of people. You can't organize that and like
It was so fast.
That had to have been.
Jamie Johnson played on stage with him in a duet. Like, dude, I don't know, man.
This was a sleeper cell in the music industry.
But it's when you find, it's like when you find people like Oliver Anthony, you know that's not even his real name.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like Chad.
Why the
something.
fuck did he pick Oliver Anthony?
This
his
is
dad's.
his grandpa or something.
Or his grandfather's name.
Yeah.
You want to know what my great grandfather's name was?
This is such a good tie-in. Oh, let's talk about your family. You did a genetics test.
So my
recently.
grandpa, like his dad, like killed himself when he was 2.
Oh shit.
And so like his grandparents raised him, and so like he's like,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about
Yeah.
my dad and all this stuff when we were hanging out this
Can you pull up
weekend.
my text messages, Drew, from Tom?
So I'm like going, and so I'm like looking up online trying to find stuff about his dad. There's nothing out there. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this ancestry trial, right? And so I find out, like, you know, whatever, and I actually find one of his cousins that he didn't know he had still here, right? And I go and I'm looking at my mom's dad's side of the family, right? And I'm hopping down the family tree, right? And I find that my great grandfather, his dad's name was like John C. Curtis or some shit, right?
Yeah.
But his dad's name was Little Barry Curtis.
Yeah, it's hot.
And then
That's a hot name.
this lovely Love Inman who is on screen
I
right
can't
now
stop
is his
laughing at that.
mom.
Dude,
I can't stop laughing at that picture.
He just saw a ghost, bro.
Right.
He
Yeah.
is a ghost, and he
Fucking-
also just saw a ghost.
Thomas's 6 times great grandmother is a fucking cave painting.
She's a cross-eyed Indian from West Virginia.
So hold on. This is gonna sound so fucking bad. The question I'm about to ask: is this a man or a woman?
It's a woman.
Oh, it's your grandma.
She's
Yeah.
looking away from the camera.
Dude,
Which
she's-
one's
She's
camera,
got
I
a lazy
guess.
eye.
Dude, she might have had. Do you think she had autism like you do?
At the same point in time, is this like a long exposure or a drawing, you know?
This looks like
You
in the
can
end.
see like
Is this a
pixels.
I mean, seriously, this is in like 1760
I
something.
mean,
Do
it
they have
really
cameras?
does. It looks like a cave painting.
It took him.
So-
it looks like in the Neanderthal cave.
You should have
painting.
seen her husband. He looked straight up like a pilgrim.
It took them 9 minutes to take this photo.
See, that kind of worries me because the fact that she's Native American and he's a pilgrim, she may not have had a choice. He might have R-worded his way in
Oh,
there.
you can say it. We bleep it out. Yeah. Back to
Right.
back right there. Just real quick 3 times. It's the trifecta.
One more for good
So
luck.
you have native in you.
Yeah, somewhere. You know, I never knew the Indian was in my blood, you know, but I guess it is now.
Dude, so it's really funny. I don't even remember how we got to his heritage, but you brought it up.
I did.
Yeah, somehow.
I don't know. Have you ever looked into your heritage?
My mom did, and yeah, I'm white as hell.
Damn, you might be Scandinavian.
No, I know. Well, maybe like small. But I'm mostly English, Irish, some German in there.
That's pretty white.
On my mom's side, yeah.
Yeah.
But on my dad's side, we haven't got far, but it's most
Did
likely
you find the name change in your family history?
No, I didn't go that
A lot
far.
of them change their name when they hit the U.S.
Yeah, we talked about that
Yeah.
with your family because it used
Yeah.
to be in Germany because they were all Nazis or I'm not sure, but they were all Krim at that point back then. His family, and then they moved here and changed their last name to Grimm as opposed to Krim. Crimm, Grimm.
Grimm's
Yeah.
way cooler.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're not like a part of the English Grimm, which is probably a common
There's
misconception.
like a Grimm in the Wales, I think, is another.
Like the Brothers Grimm, yeah. That was
Sure.
the Grimm is a popular name in Wales, like
Right.
in
And
England.
then, like, if you like look at like what the last name is normally like something related to what they did, like I don't know.
yeah.
I guess my ancestors were like prostitutes or something because
Oh,
my
yeah,
last name is Head.
gypsies.
Yeah, gypsies.
Uh-huh.
They were just blowing people
blowing,
on the side of
yeah.
the road. Do you think they called it head back then?
I don't know. I wonder what the origin of
Oh, here we go.
A deep
What?
dive into the last name head. What is
and I was gonna look up the origin of like blowjob head.
Oh, I like that too. I like that. But while you're looking that up, so your last name Brown is very English.
Very,
Wow.
very pro anal in the Christian world.
I don't think that's true.
Fifth base?
It's the loophole.
The loophole.
It's the loophole. Yeah.
Oh, that is a loophole for
Fuck
Christians?
me in the ass because
Yeah.
I love Jesus.
Yeah, it's a
That-
great song.
Sounds
Have you
good.
never heard that song?
No.
You never had that one like person you heard in high school that was like religious and they had sex, but they didn't have sex, and that was what they always
No.
did. You didn't have that. There was
Never
always
heard
that
of that.
rumor in high school when I went.
What'd we find, dude? What'd you find, Drew?
So I found the origin of blowjob, which apparently, when British soldiers in England were propositioned by prostitutes, like during World War II,
Yeah.
they would call it like going to blow off steam, and that was just shortened to
Oh, blowing off.
blowjob. Yeah,
Yeah, man, I just blew off.
It makes too much sense.
I'm not.
It does make a lot of
It
sense.
makes too much sense.
I
And
don't
then,
see anything about giving head.
well, head and neck, because it's like neck, head. It's like the general region where my penis is about to go. Makes
Yeah.
sense. No, that's wonderful and very colorful. But I wonder if
they did it out of just pride for World War II.
like for the team,
Right.
yeah.
You're
Like,
freeing us. Let us
to
blow
win.
off some steam.
Belgians were just fucking losing their mind.
They got good waffles, though.
We walked.
Mhm.
We walked into Belgium, right?
No.
The U.S. walked into Belgium. Or no. Do I have that backwards?
Belgium walked into us. I
No.
don't think anybody's touched us.
No. It was either the Nazis walked into Belgium or I think
the Nazis just walked into France.
yeah, we walked into
And
Belgium
Poland.
and no one. This is Nazi occupied Belgium, and you can Google me to verify. But like Nazi occupied Belgium, which is basically just like Germany's ugly
It's
cousin.
shitty that we lost the bid on that Hitler coaster.
Dude, honestly, step your game up.
I know. Just needed a couple more $1,000.
We need to come in hotter next time. But no, Nazi occupied Belgium, basically Germany's ugly cousin. They speak German. They're German people. There's just another country. But whenever it was occupied, we walked into that country expecting, like when we broke the lines of the country, we were like, oh, dude, we're ready for a fight. We're ready for a fucking fight. And there were no fucking Germans there. Like the Belgian soldiers that were fighting on behalf of the Nazis just like caved in and they were like, "Sup, guys?" Like, and they like we walked into town square and they just like threw parades for us. Like we took Belgium like it was nobody's fucking business. Like we owned that shit for no reason. For no reason.
What's the craziest thing you've seen at a Christian concert so far?
Oh, dude, do they get wild?
Well, I wouldn't say it's crazy, but when we played, this is just a good funny story, a local funny story. We played a show at La Masca, it was like 2 months ago. And,
yeah.
And the opening band had a fog machine, thick one at that, like nice thick fog.
I like a thick boy.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Milky fog.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Milky as
And
fuck, dude.
he had it keyed up to where like every time like the song would hit, it would just and so it was opening band and yeah, set off the fire alarms, just fogging up the whole bar, like just fogging it the hell up.
Did it shut your show down?
Well, like I was in the back, kind of like laughing at the whole situation because
Yeah.
I'm not a part of this. I'm just
This fog or the fact that there's a Christian band playing inside La Masca?
yeah, exactly.
Both.
I was kind of like fire alarms going off, and I was in the back with my brother by the soundboard and just laughing like, oh, what the hell is going on? This felt like a movie, and then Amy came up like yelling at my brother, "What the hell's going on?" And my brother's like, "I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know." He was right there, and it's like
we're burning this bitch down, dude.
and I was just like, "This feels like a movie right now." Like,
we're burning this motherfucker down, man.
that was like one of the crazier things that have happened.
Do
I think-
Christians mosh?
Yeah, they do.
Fuck yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Also, following up tailcoating.
Do they pick
for
other
Jesus.
people up afterwards?
Oh yeah, that's etiquette.
They better.
Well, I mean, sometimes they don't, man.
They give them bread and wine afterwards.
Two good questions. Also, do Christians do
I'm sure they do.
you think they do?
I think the ones that are like their mid 40s now and they wear bedazzled jeans and they're
Yeah.
like, let me tell you about my life. Those at one time, those people did a shit
Or the
ton of-
preachers of mega churches.
Yeah, the preachers
Oh,
of mega
yeah.
churches totally did.
Like Kenneth Cole or
yeah.
something. I don't know if
There's-
that's
Yeah.
his name, but
There's no way.
Joel Osteen.
Yeah, Joel Olstein. There's no way that some of these guys that like lead these
this motherfucker.
yeah, look, he's got in his teeth right now.
Look at that guy.
Yeah, dude, he is so fucked out of his mind. I have a bone to pick with mega churches, like with Olstein or Copeland.
Well, it defeats the purpose.
Yeah, Christianity is fucking sick. But then you like drag a whole bunch of money into it and you build these they're building churches that like rival fucking NFL stadiums.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, this is not the purpose.
Right?
This is not the reason.
They collect the donations,
Yeah.
and it's like an hour long of like
Yeah.
just music being played for the pan to get passed through
Yeah.
the
And it's
16 floors.
No shit.
There's a lot of money in Christianity.
I
I'll
know.
say that. There's a lot of money in that.
Yeah, and that's why I think some of these bands float that line.
Well, I mean, I'm sure my members will talk about this, better than I could, but there's this whole the schism thing in there where, you have your real Christians versus your, not real
Poser Christians.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I can't tell the difference if I'm being honest. It's just like,
You're outside looking in.
Yeah.
So you're like, man,
I can't tell the difference.
these guys all like Jesus. They're all the same to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you wear like certain merch though? Do you wear like that NOTW and or any special?
Well, the Christian fest we played this past summer, there's a Swedish band called Hypocrisy, which we all listen to, and I was wearing one of their shirts, but I didn't like look closely in the logo. There's like an obvious pentagram in it, and then there's like 666 and upside down crosses on it, but they're discreetly like really put there, and I was oops.
That's aggressive for a Christian concert.
Turn the shirt inside out.
It's like, yeah, oops.
That's aggressive. That's aggressive.
Yeah.
But it's also funny when you hear about like bands like Under Oath is not a good example because their lyrics actually are very, very Christian. But there are some black Christian bands out there, like black metal Christian bands that are like, kill your father, kill your mother. Like, and I just wonder how they get away with it. Like, how are they deemed a Christian band when they're talking about like genocide?
That's something I can't fully answer because I'm just
curious.
like, I don't know, because maybe I know there's a black metal Christian band called Ancestor, and they talk about the darker parts of Christianity,
Revelations, essentially.
Oh well, yeah, but like life experiences, dark life experiences, suicides and all that, and they talk about that, and a lot of people, I see them deem as in like, oh, you're not Christian. There's this whole like secular thing, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't really pay attention to lyrics, so I can't really talk.
They should
about
write
that.
a black metal song about Job.
That'd be fucking hot, dude.
Right.
That would be fucking hot. Also, on the religion stand, do you think you could ever see yourself confiding to not even Christianity, but just a religion in general? Because as much as I know you, or as much as we've talked in the last 3 pods that we've done,
we've talked outside of this too.
The pod as well, but like as much as I know you personally, do you think you could ever see yourself confiding in a religion? Is there a religion out there that makes sense to you enough to where you're like, well, I'm really like on the Buddhism or whatever?
Actually, that one in particular.
Buddhism?
Buddhism, I practice a lot of, I would say, more influences from Buddhism as well. And when it comes to religion, I honestly believe it's all one and the same. If you ask me what's the definition of Satan, for me, it's just like, oh, Satan is just a figure for vanity. Everybody's upset. What was Satan? The God's prettiest angel, like
Lucifer.
Yeah. He was the most beautiful one. And what happens when you pursue beautiful things for lust? Bad shit happens.
100%.
You're motivated by your ego. You're motivated by the lust and the feeling and the power that you get from that vanity. Yeah. And you pursue it and you become miserable because it bites you back.
Right. That big booty bitch is now getting child support.
And I feel like Jesus, is the complete opposite of that. The path of, the most resistance, the path where it's going to make you a better person, and the hard path, the good path. And I feel like that's to me, that's the culmination. That's yin and yang. It's to me, that's just that. It's just the same story, but just told in a different way.
What about Buddhism draws you in?
I love the reincarnation aspect of it, and the fact that Buddhism doesn't even say he's a god. It's just like, I'm like you. There's this I do believe there is something out there, and we
Has to be.
can tap into it. And not only that, but I read a book about your brain and the pineal gland. When you die, it takes 48 days, or when you die, it takes 48 days for your soul to go back into a body. And when when the sperm hits the egg, it takes 48 days for your pineal gland to develop. And this was something that we just learned in the past 30 years. And the Buddhists were just like, yeah, it takes 48 days for the soul to come back. And I'm just like, whoa, holy shit.
They're on it.
That makes too much sense.
They're in it.
And not only that, but with Buddhism, they talk about reincarnation. There's a Tibet Book of the Dead. Not only that, but what you do in this life echoes in, like, what you do echoes in eternity.
Yeah.
I also believe that. So it's just like when you're dead and you're floating around, you're like, oh my God, I'm dead. It's like when something traumatic in your life happens, you try to cling to something to ground you. And sometimes when you try to cling to something, it's what you shouldn't be clinging to. You should be like facing it head on, going through those emotions, centering yourself, making good decisions. And when you're dead and you die a frantic death, you're just like, and you just try to reincarnate to the quickest body you can. Chances are it's probably a shitty body that you didn't really
it's a fucking turtle or something on the side of the road.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's probably just like, oh, you didn't like actually, gather your soul and then, make a conscious decision to like, okay, I'm ready to go back into reality.
I hope Drew comes back as a beautiful blackfish.
A blackfish.
No, we talked about this.
Like an orca.
We talked about this a couple pods ago. Drew has a fascination with orcas, and I'm not saying this like to belittle. I don't mean it like that. Sounded belittling, but the orcas are beautiful fish, and it's one of Drew's passion animals. Mine is clearly the wombat.
Yeah, you said that last time, I think.
Which we've not covered in a while. So maybe pay attention. Coming up in a future episode, we'll do a quick wombat update. I think I like that you kind of, the point where you were like, what you do in this life echoes into the universe, and like how you orchestrate yourself now kind of helps hone you into. And we've talked a little bit about Buddhism with, who was it?
Jody?
Yeah, Jody, and then Jody Murtha, and then also Regzo, just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
We didn't talk so much. Regzo wasn't the main person we were interviewing. We were interviewing T Predicate, shout out, but Regzo was there. But he's big into Buddhism, and it's a fascinating religion. It is, because it's just like some dude who used to eat carbs a lot. He's like, I'm just big.
I don't think Buddha was actually big.
I don't think initially he was actually depicted as a fat man.
Okay, so I stand corrected. But
yeah, that is the popular.
But he's just a very regular guy.
Look at this jolly fuck.
Is the Dalai Lama
He looks
Buddhist?
healthy as shit.
No,
dude.
he's Hindu. He's Hindu.
Don't tell me this motherfucker didn't like carbs. I stand corrected as I stood corrected before. I go back to my original stance. This motherfucker likes some carbs. But what I'm getting at is he's just a very regular guy. He didn't portray himself as a
God.
as a god or as a speaker of, or what's the term that they call
a prophet?
Yeah, he didn't claim to be a prophet.
He essentially, I feel like Buddha was what we all are capable of being.
It's very achievable.
It's very achievable, but not only that, but
and positive.
Yes, very
achievable and positive.
And everything is. It also teaches you that everything bad, good, evil, everything is kind of irrelevant of that. There's really no such thing as evil. Everybody's just making things. Everything's existing all at once. Yeah. And it's up to you to react to it.
We're just trying to make it work.
Yeah,
dude.
exactly. It's how you react to situations.
Yeah.
That determines the outcome of anything.
So in the last 2 years, do you think there's been any aspect of your music that's improved, like personally? Like you've worked on?
Yeah.
What would be some of the examples?
I've gotten really good at. I wouldn't say really good, but to my own standards, really good at producing. Better at songwriting. Just overall more patient. With Forthright, I felt like I was forcing a lot of parts of my brain that weren't natural. It felt very forced. With Symphony, it's a lot more easygoing. And
is it just because that's more of the
it's more my style? Yes. and it's more relaxed. With making the Forthright record when I was, taking this is gonna be
production head of it all.
The production hell of it. That was my first go at it, and I had an X amount of tools, and when I was sending stuff to the guys, they'd be like, "Oh, this isn't good enough," and it fucking was demeaning to me. And I wouldn't say demeaning, but it just felt like, it's like, fuck, nothing's good enough. Fuck. And then this time around, when I was sending stuff to the guys, they're like, "Oh my god, this is amazing." So it's just like, oh,
But
thank you. Went through a lot of hell to get to this good.
Right.
there is something to be said about that, though.
That's like going to the gym.
Yeah.
So I'd like to think the three of us are a pretty critical group of one another. Drew can tell me when I'm being a doucher, or Tom can tell Drew when his hair doesn't look great, and we all kind of take it with stride. I feel like, I don't know, but like I feel like you almost need that. You almost need that person that can be like, "Hey, you're trash. Like this,
Yeah.
you're normally good. This is trash."
Yeah, exactly.
Who do you think you get that from? Who's your main critic that you like drive from? You know what I mean?
What?
Because for the three of us, it's like I don't know. We're all three really nice to each other, but like also sometimes Tom will be like, "Hey, tighten this up on the audio," and then sometimes I'll be like, "Hey, Tom, this video did this and this isn't normal." Or sometimes we're like, "Hey, Drew, fucking chill out on the orca shit," or whatever. You know what I mean?
I mean,
But-
you can be nice and not blow smoke up each other's asses.
Well,
Basically.
Yes, that's the point I'm getting at. Who blows the least amount of smoke up your ass?
band wise.
No, or just in general, when you're like with this art that you're
Like when
creating,
you're producing
your parents, your
mix or whatever.
bandmates, like anybody.
The least amount of smoke at my ass.
Yeah, who's the hardest on you? That's like, "Hey man, this is really really good, but also tighten the fuck up."
Probably
You know-
my brother.
really?
Yeah, my brother for sure.
Yeah, he gives you a lot of good criticism.
Yeah, a lot of good criticism. I mean, I love and hate my brother at the same time for that. But
Does he produce as well?
Yeah, he does.
So he's been on that end of it too, where he's like, "Hey man, everything sounded great, but this is trash."
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
sick.
He's not scared to tell you.
That's important, man. That's very, very important. I really do feel like when you look at like dynasties of like, I relate to sports teams, but like when you look at dynasties of sports teams or great racers, because you're an F1 fan, that guy's coach treats him like shit. Because it's like he treats him great when he does great, but then also when he fucks up, it's like, "Hey, fucking suck my you fucked up. Like
Yeah.
here's what's wrong."
That's
You know what I mean? Like you need that.
That's Max Verstappen in the F1 world right now.
Exactly.
And that's why he's world champion right now.
Exactly. His coach is fucking 2 knuckles deep in his butthole.
Yeah, his dad actually.
Yeah,
But yeah.
exactly. Dude. Is his dad his coach?
Yeah.
You still a big fan of the Red Bull racing team?
That's what he's on. I do like Red Bull, yes, but they are stupid dominant right now. Absolutely stupid dominant to where it's kind of boring. So
I kinda hate that.
There's other teams where I'm like focusing on now because I really like Williams right now.
Who's a good
But-
underdog right now?
Williams. I think Williams, because Williams had that F1 legacy where at one point they were one of the top teams, and then their owner became, not
Head.
yeah, no, he became
Jesus.
accident happened. He became, paralyzed.
Oh
and
shit!
well, not only that, but he thought the old ways of thinking would like translate into like modern ways when F1 is a very technologically advanced sport, and he brought this old mentality into this new world, and then they just fell off, and then now they have this guy who's bringing it back, and it's just like, oh, that's exciting. They're actually doing good. So
Hell yeah.
I like
Do
underdogs.
you think there's performance enhancing drugs in like racing?
Yeah, what can your mechanic get away with that they won't see?
Adderall?
No. I wouldn't say performance enhancing physically. It's more or less the cars. Like what can there's certain boundaries that you can do with certain specifications your car has to
Parameters,
be. Yeah, parameters that your car has to be. So it's like, okay, who on your team can design something that'll make it go faster, but the FIA won't notice. That's the whole point of it.
What about for drivers though? Do you
For
think there's
drivers,
PEDs for drivers?
I don't know. Just a
Do they wear like spacesuits when they pee and like goes outside the car?
I don't know. I think they just piss in the car, honestly.
Right.
But like as far as cheating, I just think a shit ton of caffeine.
I would have just searched PEDs. There you go. Okay, although there have been no official positive tests for performance-enhancing drugs in Formula One, some drivers have reportedly used
Tacrin? What was it? Tacrin?
Tacrin.
Tacrin? Yeah, Tacrin, a drug designed to treat fucking Alzheimer's. To improve their visual memory when memorizing complex circuits, although Tacrin's effects are beneficial, blah, blah, blah.
That makes sense.
It's legal to use.
Is there a limit in
It's legal
F1
to
racing
use.
though? So like in NASCAR, they can only go like 220 miles an hour, and they can't go faster than that. Is there a limit like that in F1 racing?
No, the limit is just that you have certain specifications. It's what you can do within those specifications to cheat.
Right.
It's the courses that hinder you.
Yeah.
So I imagine, because the courses, you look at NASCAR, it's usually a big loop.
Not always.
There are some where they're a little more complex. There's multiple turns and stuff, but they slow down quite a bit during those races. These F1 races, almost all of their circuits are like that. Complex curves, turns, twists, tight ends. Like,
You don't have time to blink.
it's a very, you're not going 220 miles an hour when you're doing a fucking 90-degree fucking hairpin or a 135-degree hairpin. You don't have time to go 230. You're like, yeah.
F1 cars are basically fighter jets on wheels. That's literally what they are.
They're intense.
Like the G forces would break, a normal person's neck if they're driving them.
I mean, I could probably do it, but
you could do one lap and then we would die.
a
normal person would die.
Honestly, I think I would be a good F1 driver. Just throwing that out there. Kind of an athlete. I feel like I could withstand a lot of G forces, but that's just me. I'm just throwing that out there. So in this wild trip, switching over to this new band, have you seen any, or would you have any advice for somebody that's like transitioning from one project to another, almost multitasking, but really not? You know what I mean? Like,
be fucking confident in yourself. Like that's the best, because when you leave a project for another project, you're always gonna have that like shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
Yeah,
it's like, yes, do I miss Forthright in some ways? Of course, yes. They look happy, and it's like seeing an ex with another boyfriend or girlfriend. You're just like, oh, that it's not the greatest feeling ever, but like if you love them, you gotta as they say, if you love them, you gotta let them be. But at the same time, you fucking work on yourself and you make sure this decision is what you want. Not saying it's going to work out every time, but when you leave it, you have to just be confident. You have to know what you're going to do. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Just be like, fuck it, I did it for experience. I did it to try to grow as myself. I did it to try to grow.
Yeah.
So don't second guess yourself. Just fucking do it.
Be confident.
Yeah.
Was there a time where you second guessed that decision?
Oh yeah. Like, yeah, there was times, because having all the history with Forthright, building it up from the ground up, being a part of that. Yeah, it was hard leaving it. It's still like, there's times I still was, I wish I was in it, but at the same time, the times I wasn't having the greatest times didn't outweigh the fun 30 minutes on stage,
right.
Like all the BS behind it. And I was just like, it's life, I wish them the best. They look like they're doing good.
I think they are doing really well. I think they're doing fine. Yeah.
I'm doing fine. They're doing fine. We're all doing fine.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Is there this?
I mean, don't get me wrong. The new guitar player is good, but doesn't have hair like me.
Is there? That's a jab, motherfuckers.
Doesn't have hair like me.
No, I'm joking. You have beautiful hair. So is there like this stigma? Because I like comedy a lot, like a lot. Like, comedy is my gig, for sure. Like, if I had the balls to do it, I would do comedy.
You should.
I won't, ever, just so we're clear.
Pussy.
But I'm a bit... We talked about this like 3 episodes ago. I'm a huge pussy. But, like, in comedy, there's this weird shtick where, like, comedians will, like, jab at one another, almost kind of bite at one another.
Mm-hmm.
They're not groups, so it's not necessarily the same thing, but... If you treat an individual comedian almost as a music group and then treat another comedian as like its own musical group, they kind of like bite at each other, and they almost kind of treat each other like shit, because it's always about like who's getting this gig, who's getting this money, who's going here, who's going there, who's doing this podcast, who's doing that show. Do you see that with like bands?
Oh yeah, you're always competing. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, if you're in a band, you're competing with other bands. There's like yeah, you can have that mentality like, oh, we're in it together, we're making music. True, but you want to steal the fucking show. That's just how it is. That's how comedians are. You want to steal the fucking show.
Yeah.
Yes, your friend. It's like when a comedian writes a joke and you hear that all the comedians say, "Oh, why didn't I think of that joke?"
Yeah.
It's like when you see another band perform a song, they're just
Why
like,
didn't I write
"Why didn't
that?"
I write that?"
Yeah.
Or why didn't I? Why don't we have our shit together like that on stage? You're always competing against each other because you want to win.
Yeah.
So you take notes from other.
Oh, you
people's
take notes from other
performances.
people, and then when your bandmates don't, do good of a job, you're like, hey, like I'm pouring my soul into this. So should you.
Right, you're giving it your all, so
Yeah.
they should as well.
Exactly.
Are you good over there?
Yeah. Did you know he wanted me to hold his hand during the football game?
Hold his hand.
Yeah, and then he called me a for not holding his hand.
What are you scared? You scared to hold a man's hand,
I
Thomas?
held his hand, but then he called me a when I tried to get my e-cig out of my hand. Like, at least let me get a solid palm-on-palm hand holding.
God, dude, that's getting bleeped so fucking hard. Oh, god damn it. I hate you. But also, thanks for holding my hand earlier.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Dude, it was a tight-ass game.
I came back.
Dolphins.
Also,
Dolphins.
yes, for
Speaking
our
of
listeners to
tight
know,
ass.
the next 18 episodes is Toxic Brian.
Dude, we're going to the playoffs, so it's going to be like 23 episodes.
23 episodes
so-
intoxicated.
I think I've contained myself pretty good tonight, though.
Sure.
You're the one that said not me.
Yeah, on air. You said it earlier.
These are getting bleeped. So, dude, in this wild ride, switching from Forthright to Symphony of Heaven, Symphony.
Well, have you ever
of
done
Yes.
anything crazy before you get there? Like, so I watched this concert one time where, like, the guitarist put his guitar up and the drummer was playing the drums, but then also hitting the strings as the guitarist was, fingering the strings.
That's hot.
Like, have you guys, like, toyed around with anything like that?
All right, what's your craziest in live show trick or like
Yeah, you
Get the
climbing
fuck-
off a speaker?
you know what I mean? Get the people going type shit. Do you have something like that?
Whip my hair.
You whipping the hair?
They know what's up.
Is that like a
See
metal
the big
band
curly-
need?
Yeah, not War Drummer's bald, unfortunately. But, no, we don't have it. We have a guitar.
What are you saying about bald people, dude? First off,
He's saying that, like, if you're in a band, get a wig and a hat. That way you can still.
would you respect
no,
me
I-
if
no,
I was in a metal band with a wig?
Yeah.
take it off every concert and throw it out into the crowd? It'd be a hit.
It's like a weave. Just fucking ripping that bitch off.
There is this guy, this guitar player named Michelangelo Badio, and he's bald, and he clearly
I
uses.
know Michelangelo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the painter.
Yeah.
The Ninja Turtle.
He clearly uses a wig, and it's a god awful. It has bangs on it, and I'm just like, whew.
We're talking about the same person, right? Like-
Michelangelo Badio, the guitar player.
yeah, Michelangelo,
Yeah,
the guitarist.
yeah.
He's crazy talented.
He has a wig. That's a wig.
I haven't seen him in probably a decade.
That's a
But like back when I was big into music, will you look up a picture of Michelangelo?
yeah.
What is it?
Badio.
Badio?
That's a wig, though.
I gotta know what he looks like now because this guy is like his name does not precede him. Like he is Michelangelo is the perfect name for him. He's very good at guitar. He's very, very talented.
Yeah. See, look at that reaction. That's a wig.
Oh man.
It looks like
Such a
his 4-year-old
That
tried to
guitar
give
is
him
hot.
a Karen cut.
That guitar is hot. Looks like some spread legs.
dude, that is my gay Aunt Karen.
Like,
That's
how
who
do you
that
strum
is.
that shit?
I don't know.
Are they
God,
different?
that's
Like
a bummer.
No,
scales?
no, he plays with the right nose left. At
He's
the
very
same
talented,
time.
though,
Very
right?
Extremely
Fuck.
talented.
Yeah, he's a
That's crazy.
He is like he's a grown ass man now. 10 years ago when I learned about him, he was still maybe in his 30s, but like
He said he's 67.
God
So
damn,
he was
okay.
57.
Ugh. All right. Maybe it was longer than 10 years ago. Maybe I was in high school. Maybe it was 20 years ago. I don't know. But like I remember learning about him and he was just a freak. Like what's that band? Dragon Force?
Yeah.
On that level. Freak at guitar.
Very good.
and very, very talented. And he had like a YouTube channel and everything, which I'm sure he still
does.
Yeah,
he still does have a YouTube channel.
Very, very talented.
Mhm.
So do you learn a lot from like his YouTube channel or other people?
I
Do you,
learn
like-
a lot from other people's YouTube channels, not his in particular.
His is like a showboaty.
How much do you think you're still like learning on YouTube? Like how much are you YouTubing for research, you think? in a
Every
week?
day.
YouTube
Every
University.
day. Yes. YouTube University.
Especially with production.
hmm
I know from the podcast because I post-produce everything in the podcast.
So you know how it works.
Yeah, when it's like, man, this sounds weird. I know I can get rid of this, but I don't know how.
hmm
YouTube.
And then, you're running Logic, so I'm sure there's a bunch of
Oh, it's trash.
Logic forums.
It's trash.
Yeah.
It's trash.
Yeah.
Heads up. If you're starting a podcast, don't do Logic.
Get Pro Tools and pay that overpriced subscription. Yeah. There you
you
go.
go.
Get that.
Back to the topic of fucking crazy guitars. This is too many strings,
That's
right?
an eight string. yeah.
Okay, I was looking at it earlier, like counting them. Like, what the fuck?
Like how you're doing shorthand math while we're having a podcast. You're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
also 1,
That's,
2, 3,
that's an-
4, 5.
8-string guitar right there.
So what is
So
it?
is there a way that you can get a guitar to where you can play bass on the top half and then like guitar on the bottom?
Yeah, a couple $1,000. Somebody will build it for you.
Yeah, well, are you gonna get it built?
Maybe one day when I have the money. Or
Damn.
when Symphony well, actually, since we don't have a bass player right now, just
Right.
take a dip in the Ohio River, grow 2 extra arms, be the bass and guitar player at the same time.
Right. Fucking
You could-
Tyler 10 over there.
You could
Mhm.
catch a catfish while you're in there.
Exactly.
What's the...
Or get catfished,
That's true.
Yeah,
What's
you get barbed and die.
Steve Irwin.
shout out to like 3 weekends ago or three episodes ago. Hey, what's the biggest difference between bass guitar and guitar? Or like just a regular guitar.
They're different
like-
instruments.
well,
That's
yeah,
the-
correct.
they're
But,
Different clefs.
but usually 'cause you-
Bass has a longer neck, thicker strings. Guitar, shorter neck, thinner strings.
they make
Yeah.
different notes. Obviously, the bass.
No, they make same notes.
Well, the bass holds like the rhythm for the song, right?
Yeah.
you can also play bass like with your fingers mainly.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's more like finger picking as opposed to strumming on guitar, which
would-
you can finger pick on guitar, but
I would be so bad at bass then.
No, you
yeah,
probably- you
I'm
pick
terrible
this-
at finger picking. But
Yeah, me too.
on bass, the strings are farther apart, and there's only 4 of them, so
Or 5.
4 or 5.
Or 6.
Yeah.
Okay, well now it's
No.
just a guitar. What the fuck?
Settle Down, Buried Alive. Have you seen those guys?
Yeah.
Fucking intense, dude. Didn't they do like a 6-string bass?
They had a custom bass, man.
Yeah, custom
with a kill
6-string bass.
switch and all kinds of stuff.
Fucking sick. They have like a 12-string guitar. It's fucking intense, dude. Or no, it was like 16 strings. It was ridiculous. The neck on it was like this wide.
I've seen that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then they buried it in the sand. I saw
Mhm.
that.
I've seen
video.
that. I've seen that video. Yep,
on the
yep,
beach.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
so fucking
Seen that
hot.
video.
Oh,
Mhm.
it's so fucking hot.
Mhm.
Through this journey of switching from one band to another, and you've made the leap. I would say
A leap of faith.
I would say the leap has been valiant. You know what I mean?
So far.
So what are some of the dark roads you've had to travel from switching from one to another? Like, have you had a dark moment where you were like or something, and then what pulled you through that hiccup that you were having?
No, the dark moment was even right now, doing the EP stuff, writing the EP. It's very like somewhat PTSD from Forthright, doing all that stuff, and but what pulled me out was just the transparency, being open with these guys. The fact that these guys, I talk to them every day, and they're very reassuring people. It's like, hey, we're all gonna be good, and that overthinking that I always end up doing, that because I don't want to experience what I went through back then, and it's the nice reassurance. It's that dark moment of like, okay, I'm about to do this EP. It's gonna be intense,
They're Christian,
but it's gonna be worth it.
They're Christian, so it's got to help.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're fucking super polite.
Give those motivational like biblical quotes.
Yeah.
It does help.
They're like John 13:16. Thou shalt not fucking mow thy neighbor's lawn.
That's
Whatever, you
way
get
off.
it.
Verbatim. That's what it says in the Bible.
Google it, cause fucking Drew. you
Thou
get it.
shalt not fucking mow thy neighbor's
lawn. To fucking
Thou shalt not mow thy neighbor's
don't
lawn.
come at me with your biblical bullshit, dude. No, man, I respect the fuck out of you. It does take a certain amount of confidence and and will to leave something that you've built and that you're comfortable with, and then go into this totally new thing that's already built, and then be uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, that's how you grow.
Yeah,
It's
being uncomfortable.
That's how you grow.
And that's why you go to the gym. That's why you do the things that you do. You make yourself uncomfortable, and that's good. That's a good. That's good.
It's the theme for this summer for me has been humble pie. I've gotten humbled quite a bit this summer, and
That's good.
I'm learning a lot.
That's good.
Dark night of the soul for me this summer, but we're approaching the other side.
Also,
So
good
we're
film.
good.
Good film,
Yes.
Dark Knight. So you just watched it the other day.
Yeah.
No, but I really, there's something to be said about that, and I think that you're an extraordinary character for having done what you've done so far.
Well,
so
thank you.
seriously, like I'm very, very impressed that you've not just switched bands, but you're like progressing. You're growing, and that's important. So I'm very, very impressed by that. I don't have any more questions. Drew, do you have any questions or a last second, dude?
No.
You guys want to put a bow on it? Tom, you got any last second questions? What was that, dude? You like panicked on the mic? Are you okay?
No, I like looked over and then like the fridge cut out and it went like extra silent and I was like, damn, this is even more on the spot.
Yeah, dude, fucking nut up or shut up. This has been another thrilling episode of the Days Grimm. My name is Brian Michael Day.
My name is Thomas Grimm.
I'm Drew Head.
Tighten up, get tighter on his name. When he says it, you say it. I'm joking.
Do it again from the top.
My name is Brian Michael Day.
My name is Thomas
I'm
Grimm.
Drew Head.
And this has been Tyler Brown.
Look how tight that was. This is another thrilling episode of the Days Grimm. Thank you guys so much. And thank you, Tyler. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
God, you crushed it.